When my brother walked away that day, I smiled instead of crying. I didn't want him to see the hurt in my eyes, so I smiled. But inside, my heart felt like it had been split in two. I kept thinking that maybe, just maybe, this was a mistake. Maybe he would come back and say it was all a misunderstanding. But he didn't. He left, carrying his life, his new dreams, and his choices, and somehow, he left me behind, like I was invisible. I remember the morning clearly. The sky was grey, the clouds heavy, and there was a cold wind that made my hands tremble. I was sitting by the window, drinking tea, and waiting for the door to open and for him to walk back into our small home, laughing like he always did. But the door stayed closed. I kept telling myself that he would come back. But deep down, I knew he wouldn't. I had always looked up to him. Even when we were children, I followed him around, copying his every move. He taught me how to ride a bike. He showed me how to climb the big tree in our backyard. And when the neighbors teased me, he stood in front of me and told them to leave me alone. He was my protector, my guide, my brother. And yet, here he was, walking away, leaving me behind. I tried to understand why. Was it something I said? Something I did? Did he feel trapped? Or maybe, he had dreams I couldn't give him. But no matter how much I asked myself, the answers never came. Only the emptiness remained. The quiet, the silence, and the memory of a brother who once meant the world to me, now a stranger passing by in the streets of life. I still remember the look in his eyes when he said goodbye. It wasn't harsh. It wasn't cruel. It was calm, almost peaceful. But that calmness cut deeper than any scream could have. And as I stood there, watching him disappear down the road, I whispered to myself, will he ever remember me? Our family was never perfect. We were simple people. Small house, smaller income, but we had love, at least I thought we did. My parents worked long hours. Mom in the mornings, Dad in the evenings. And in that quiet between their shifts, my brother and I became inseparable. We didn't have many friends outside school, but we had each other. And that was enough. I was the younger one. Always shy, always quiet. My brother was the brave one, the loud one, the one who made everyone laugh. He had a smile that could light up a whole room. And I loved him for it. I loved him so much that sometimes it hurt. Because I wanted to be brave too, like him. I wanted to be noticed. I wanted to be important in someone's life the way he was. School was always a challenge for me. I wasn't good with numbers, and I stumbled over words when I read aloud. But he never laughed. He would sit beside me, guiding my hand when I wrote, whispering the answers when the teacher wasn't looking. And when someone made fun of me, he was there. Always there. Home was different, though. Home was quiet. Sometimes too quiet. Mom and Dad tried their best, but life had worn them down. Money was tight. Arguments were common, though never loud. Still, my brother somehow shielded me from all of it. He was my anchor. But as we grew older, things began to change. He got new friends. Friends who didn't include me. Friends who went to parties, stayed out late, and whispered secrets I wasn't part of. I noticed it at first, but I told myself it was just a phase. He still came home to eat dinner. He still helped me with homework. He still smiled at me. I wanted to believe that nothing could change, that our bond was unbreakable. He had dreams too. Dreams bigger than our little home, bigger than the streets where we grew up. He talked about leaving the city, finding a job that paid well, building a life he always wanted. And I wanted to be happy for him. I really did. But a small part of me, the part that was his little sister, wanted him to stay. Just a little longer. I tried to imagine life without him. But I couldn't. My days felt empty even thinking about it. Every corner of the house held a memory of us. The kitchen where we fought over cookies. The living room where we watched cartoons together. The backyard where we played cricket until the sun went down. He was everywhere, and yet, I was scared of the day he wouldn't be. And that day came sooner than I expected. It started with small things. Small disagreements that seemed insignificant at the time. But they piled up like snow, slowly covering the warmth that had always existed between us. He began staying out later, returning home with a tired face and a distracted look. He started ignoring my questions about his day, brushing me off with one-word answers. "Where were you?" I asked one evening, my voice shaky. "Just out," he replied, not meeting my eyes. That night, I cried quietly in my room. I didn't want him to hear me, to feel guilty, or worse, to leave. But the silence was heavy. The laughter that used to fill our house was gone. In its place, there were shadows of the person I once knew. Mom noticed it too. She tried to talk to him, tried to remind him of the bond we shared. But he would only nod politely, then retreat to his room. My brother, who once could sit with me for hours, teaching me how to ride a bike or drawing cartoons in my notebook, now barely spoke to me. I started to feel invisible. Every time he laughed with his friends, every time he shared a secret with someone else, a piece of my heart broke. I wanted to confront him, to ask him why he was changing, but the words got stuck in my throat. How could I ask him to stay when I knew he needed to go? One afternoon, I followed him quietly as he walked to the park. He didn't notice me at first, but when he did, he froze. "Why are you following me?" he asked, a mixture of surprise and irritation in his voice. I just wanted to see if you're okay," I whispered. He looked away, avoiding my eyes. "I'm fine," he said. But I could hear the edge in his tone. The edge that said he didn't want me there, that he wanted space. And I understood, but it hurt. It hurt more than I could ever explain. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. And the small tensions grew into a wall between us. I tried to reach him. I left little notes in his room. I cooked his favorite meals. I waited for him to smile at me again like he used to. But nothing worked. The brother I loved, the brother who had been my anchor, was slipping away, and there was nothing I could do to hold on. Then came the day he told me he was leaving. It wasn't dramatic. There were no tears, no shouting, no harsh words. Just a calm voice, almost gentle. "I'm leaving," he said. "I need to do this for myself." "Leaving?" I asked, my voice barely audible. "Yes," he said. "I'm going to the city. I found a job. A chance to start fresh." I nodded, trying to smile. "Okay," I said. I hope you'll be happy." And that was it. That was the moment. That simple, quiet moment when my world shifted. The night before he left, I couldn't sleep. I kept replaying every memory we had, every laugh, every fight, every moment that had built the bond between us. I wanted to hold on to something, anything, that could remind him of me. But when I went to his room, it was empty. He was already packing quietly, leaving no trace of his departure. I remember sitting on his bed, touching his pillow, and feeling tears fall down my cheeks. I whispered, "Please don't forget me. Please remember your sister." But the only response was the soft rustle of the sheets. The next morning, I woke up to an empty room. His bag was gone. The door closed softly, but it felt final. My parents were at work, and I was alone. I walked to the door, hoping to hear him call my name, to hear that familiar laugh. But there was nothing. Silence. Days passed, then weeks. I tried to reach him through calls, messages, social media. He responded occasionally, politely, but the warmth was gone. The laughter, the shared secrets, the bond that had been unbreakable, was gone. I started noticing things I had ignored before. The empty chair at the dining table. The quiet in the kitchen. The absence of someone to tease me about my clumsy ways. The void was everywhere. I realized then that it wasn't just him leaving physically, he had left emotionally too. One day, I received a message from his friend. A simple text, but it felt like a knife in my chest. "He's busy. He doesn't have time to talk." I stared at it for hours. My brother, who once promised to always protect me, always be there for me, had moved on. And I was still here, waiting, hoping, remembering. It was a turning point for me, not because of anger, but because of clarity. I had been holding on to someone who was no longer mine. I had been waiting for a brother who had forgotten his little sister, and I realized that sometimes, love isn't enough. Sometimes, people leave, and no matter how much you want them to stay, they won't. It's not because you did something wrong, and it's not because they stopped caring. Sometimes, life just pulls people in different directions. I cried for days. Quiet, soft cries. I wrote letters I never sent. I kept a diary, pouring out every memory, every feeling. And slowly, I began to understand that I couldn't control him. I couldn't make him stay. But I could remember him. I could keep him in my heart, even if he wasn't there physically. Life went on. Slowly. The house felt emptier, but I learned to fill it with small joys. I cooked, I read, I walked in the park where we used to play. I talked to my parents, who were hurting too, but who tried to stay strong. I made new friends, though none could replace the bond one had with my brother. I kept thinking about him. Sometimes with anger, sometimes with sadness, sometimes with love. I realized that forgiving him, or maybe forgiving life itself, was the only way to move forward. He didn't leave me out of cruelty. He left because he had to. I found ways to remember him. I kept his old bike in the garage. I framed a photo of us from childhood, smiling and carefree. Every time I saw it, I felt him there, even if he wasn't. I started writing stories, about him, about us, about the love that never disappeared even when he did. And then, slowly, I noticed a change. The sadness wasn't as sharp. The silence wasn't as heavy. I learned to find comfort in memories, in small rituals, in the life I had built for myself. I realized that he was still a part of me, and I was still a part of him, even if our paths had diverged. One day, months later, I received a message from him. Simple, polite, but it carried warmth I had almost forgotten. "Hey, I hope you're doing well." My heart leapt, but I didn't run to him. I didn't demand explanations or apologies. I simply replied, "I'm fine. I hope you are too." It was enough. Not because it fixed everything, but because it reminded me that love doesn't always need presents. Sometimes, it just exists quietly, in memories, in small gestures, in the hope that people carry each other in their hearts even when they are far apart. I learned to live with the absence without letting it destroy me. I learned that life moves on, but the people we love leave traces in our hearts that time cannot erase. Now, when I think about that day my brother walked away, I don't feel the sharp pain I once did. I feel a quiet sadness, a longing, but also a deep gratitude for the time we had together. I remember his smile, his laughter, the way he always made me feel safe. Life has taught me that people come and go. Sometimes they leave intentionally, sometimes unintentionally, and sometimes they forget. But forgetting doesn't erase the love that was once there. It doesn't erase the moments that shaped us, the lessons we learned, or the bond that still exists quietly in the heart. I still hope that one day, he will remember me. Not just as his little sister, but as someone who loved him fiercely, someone who waited quietly, who forgave quietly, and who carried him in her heart even when he walked away. And I've learned something important. Life is fragile. People are fragile. Relationships are delicate. But the love we share, the memories we make, and the care we give, those are eternal. They stay, even when the people don't. So I smile now, not because I am hiding sadness, but because I understand. I smile because I remember, because I forgive, and because I hope. I hope that love always finds its way, even in silence, even in absence, even in forgotten moments. And maybe, one day, my brother will look back and see me, not as the little girl he left behind, but as someone who loved him all along. And that thought, quiet as it is, brings warmth to my heart. Even in loss, there is love. Even in absence, there is hope. Even when someone forgets, we can remember. And that is enough.